I want to make sure that I can see myself over on YouTube, and then I'll get this thing going. This is going to be a very, very short stream. One that I kept pushing the time back, but I think it's worth capturing. So let me make sure I can see myself over on YouTube, and then I'll get this going. While YouTube is strange, I have I don't see anybody watching. Right, well, there's one person. There's one like over there. I know that you stream from YouTube. No, you stream from StreamYard over to YouTube, and I think the data, there's a lag in the data somewhere. Is this a bot or is this a person? Herb. Oh, what's going on, Herb? Herb is roaming the YouTube streets. Herb, this is going to be a short stream. Just something I saw on Twitter, and I'm Herb. I'm out in Albany. You know that, so I'm gonna run up to Glens Falls and take some location footage of the Glens Falls Civic Center, so that I can make some promotional videos for my book project. Because I know LaSalle pretty much lived in the state Final Four. So I'm going to get this stream done, and then I'm out the door. Okay, so let me play the intro, and then I'll talk to you guys on the other side. Please hit the like button. Well, I think Herb, I think you're the one who's done that. If you're watching on the playback, please hit the like button. So let me play the intro, and I have to update this intro. I have a stack of things to hide to do, and there's never enough time to get to all of them. So I'll see you on the other side. All right, hello everyone. Well, those of you watching live and those of you who might watch this on the playback, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, Entertainment and Media. First of all, please like this stream / video. If you're watching it on the playback, please share and subscribe. Something got caught in my throat really quickly there. Well, I wanted to come back and make a quick stream on what will be a historical fact, and it's relevant based upon what's happening in the world right now. There's a lot happening in the world. I'm thinking particularly about what's happening over in Eastern Europe and Asia. I have not spoken much about that I don't know enough about it. My hearts and prayers go out to the people of the Ukraine. But up to this point, I've been intentionally silent on that, other than I hope that the suffering for all parties involved, well, particularly for the Ukrainians and the African students and nationals trying to leave Ukraine. I hope all this comes to a swift resolution. Before I jump into this quick stream, a little bit of quick advertising. Please consider joining. Trying to be careful here so as not to wobble the camera. It's the table. This isn't a very sturdy table. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter, which is here. I didn't have it queued up. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter here, because I'm a writer and a YouTube content creator, and I'm working on finishing up this book right here, which I kind of alluded to before I played the intro when chatting with Herbert Lewis right there. I'm working on this book. There's a button at the bottom of the greeting. I promise I will not give or sell your information to a third party. That's a big deal. These people are very, very protective of their emails and those kinds of things. So I'm working on this book right here, The Engineers, a Western New York Basketball Story. It's a creative nonfiction piece about what the game of basketball taught me at a young age, and how those lessons impacted me going forward and forth into my education and into the adult world. So it's a basketball story, but it's a life story. And I spent a lot of time covering Section 6 basketball. Or should I say, I spend a lot of time also telling the story of Section 6 basketball, which encompasses Niagara County, Erie County, Cattaraugus, and Chautauqua County. This is for all the basketball heads out there. But LaSalle was one of them. Herbert Lewis went to LaSalle. They were a basketball power in our area at that time. So this is below. Here on this channel, cover books, writings, movies, TV shows, and so on, et cetera, et cetera. So, but all this will be discussed in the newsletter. Anyway, now that that's out of the way. So we know what's happening in the world right now. And as a blogger, I'm always surfing Twitter. I use Twitter pretty regularly to promote and market my things, my writings, and my YouTube content, and promotional essays for my book project. And since this current crisis started, I saw something interesting on Twitter. I'm going to enable my screen share right now so I can share it with the audience. This tweet said, Leonard Nimoy, the son of immigrants from Izyaslav, Ukraine. Or I think that should say, Leonard Nimoy is the son of immigrants from Izyaslav, Ukraine. Hashtag stand with Ukraine. And I thought that was interesting because, well, I never knew that. I never knew that. I don't really know much about Leonard Nimoy's roots, aside from he played the Vulcan Mr. Spock on the original Star Trek series. And that's important to me, or that resonates with me, because as a 70s baby, I grew up watching reruns of the original series. And then I basically grew up with the movies. So this is the cast and the crew. There's Mr. Nimoy there. They're all a little older. They're all middle-aged. But I grew up watching the movies. The Wrath of Khan, I had a copy of the VHS and I have a copy of the DVD at home. So I watched The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 2 so much, and I have the soundtrack here in my iTunes library. But I consumed that so much and I watched that so much. I pretty much have every scene memorized, and I pretty much have almost every line from that movie memorized, such as um, um, it would destroy such life in favor of its new matrix. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy were talking about the Genesis project. Um, I was not looking to examine its moral implications, Doctor. Um, let's see, when the Reliant was attacking the Enterprise, um, Spock tells Kirk, their coil emissions are normal because Khan and his crew were deceiving the Enterprise and thinking that their ship was disabled. So they told them that their chamber coil was overloading their comm system, of course. And then, as you know, the final sequence of the movie takes place in the Motara Nebula, and Lieutenant Savick, who does everything by the book, she's questioning Kirk's moves, and of course, at this point, they're ad-libbing because their ship is less powerful than the Reliant, and they go into the nebula. Reliant follows, and Spock says, "Sauce, sauce for the goose, Lieutenant. The odds will be even. Shields will be inoperative, and tactical will be disabled." And then once Khan sets off the Genesis device, Spock is at his science station, and he says, "I'm reading a signal from Reliant, a pattern I've never seen before." That's when they know Khan's going to set off the Genesis device and blow everybody up. And then that's when Spock decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. And of course, Spock and McCoy try to stop him. And Spock tells him, "I don't have time to discuss this logically, Doctor." And then he puts his fingers on his face to do the Vulcan thing. He says, "Remember," transfers his soul into McCoy. And that's when you get Star Trek 3. Anyway, all that stuff, even Star Trek 3, the lines, the music, the scenes, all that's very much etched into my memory. And then he made appearances in The Next Generation. He didn't make appearances. My next favorite series was Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I don't think Leonard Nimoy made a direct appearance in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but there was an episode where Cisco and Dax, and I think Bashir and Chief O'Brien went back into the past during the Trouble with Tribbles episode. And so Cisco and Dax, they're all walking around the old Enterprise, and they actually do see Spock and McCoy. No, Kirk and Spock walking around the bridge, and Cisco and Dax, they kind of stop in awe. And he was just that Spock character was a legendary character. The fact that he was emotionless for the most part. Later on, we found out that he's half human. But I just thought he was. When I got old enough to understand, I thought that Spock was maybe the coolest character in Star Trek. The ears, live long and prosper. The Vulcan neck grip, the mind meld. The fact that he was a scientist. The fact that he always walked around with his hands clasped behind his back. I just thought that was the coolest thing. Herb says, "Tough to witness that." I'm not sure what exactly you're referring to there. But one last thing before I move on, and then I finish this up. Leonard Nimoy also, let's see if I have this handy. He gave the voice for a character in one of my favorite movies. I don't have the picture queued up. Let me see if I can find it. I think I did that in November. Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I have a picture of the character. Yep. right there. Well, let me bring this picture up. And then I'll bring this picture up. Leonard Nimoy voiced one of the characters in the 1986 Transformers movie. If you were a 70s baby like I was, then this was a big deal. You watched the Transformers and G.I. Joe and Thundercats and Silverhawks, and you watched all those things after school um, most days. And then if you watch the Transformers, the TV series, then when they came out with this movie, it was a big deal. I was 10 years old. But the movie was significant. I did a live stream on this, looking back at the movie when I first started this channel back in 2020. What was significant about that movie is that there were characters that died. And, when you're a child watching these characters after school every day, you think the characters are going to live forever. Well, Hasbro and Marvel and whoever produced the show, they said, well, we're going to kill off this cast of characters and bring in a new cast. Well, one of the characters that died was actually Megatron right there in the lower, the silver robot right there in the corner with the cannon on his right arm. He died and he came back reincarnated into Galvatron. And in the movie, Galvatron was voiced by Leonard Nimoy. Now, when you go back and watch the cartoon afterwards, and Galvatron was voiced by someone else, I imagine they had to pay a lot of money to get Leonard Nimoy to do it. But Galvatron was voiced by another man who had a higher pitched voice. But those are two notable characters that I remember for Leonard Nimoy. I don't really remember him being known for anything else besides Star Trek, and then voicing Galvatron in the Transformers movie. I actually did look this up. I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna shut this down. As a blogger, Wikipedia is not always considered a reliable source. I learned that when I wrote for examiner.com, but there is valuable information you can glean from Wikipedia. I'm just going to read the opening sentence. This is backing up what the tweet said. Leonard Nimoy was born on March 26th, 1931 in the West End of Boston, Massachusetts, the United States, to Jewish immigrants from Izyaslav in the present day Ukraine. His parents left Izyaslav separately, his father first walking over the border to Poland, while his mother and grandmother were smuggled out of the Soviet Union in a horse-drawn carriage by hiding under bales of hay. They reunited after arriving in the United States. His mother, Dora, was a homemaker, and his father, Max Nimoy, owned a barbershop in the Mattapan section of Boston. He had an elder brother, Melvin. He also had a cousin, Jeff Nimoy, a writer, and actor in the entertainment industry. And I think, no, this tweet is by Adam Nimoy. So that might be his son, or maybe another relative. I don't know who Adam Nimoy is, but anyhow, again, a quick stream. I saw this on Twitter. I'm always surfing Twitter. I'm always using Twitter to market my stuff. And via Twitter, someone argued that social media is a dangerous thing and a bad thing. But via social media, I found out that Leonard Nimoy's roots actually come from the Ukraine, which is at the heart of this current crisis that's happening in the world right now. So I just wanted to note that. I'm going to shut this string down. If you have questions or comments, please leave those below. I want to thank everyone who supported my Stephen King content about writing seems to be pretty popular. So whoever is watching that and liking that, and or whoever has watched it and liked it, I appreciate that. I think I'm going to do some more of that. And also, if you're watching on the playback and you want to donate to the channel, this information is below in the description box. My Cash App, and my PayPal. I gotta remember to slow down sometimes when I'm talking. Anyway, and also please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. All right, everyone. While there's still daylight, I have to go take these location shots to promote my book. So it's a nice little ride from here up to Glens Falls, and I've never been to Glens Falls. I've never been to the Civic Center. My team in high school wasn't one of the elite teams, and I think that's what I'm going to name the video or the series of videos when I record those. Is that Glens Falls was the destination for the elite teams, and of course, Herb is watching. LaSalle of Niagara Falls was one of those teams. So. Anyhow, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're new, if the algorithm has brought you here. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care. I'll talk to you. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.